Good morning. Time for coffee. Day 202. Cooking down the freezer, refrigerator, and working pantry. So I have no idea what I'm going to cook today. I still have a little bit of that spaghetti sauce left. I was thinking about maybe making a non-pizza with it, but I'm not sure. But I sure got a lot of meals out of that one can of spaghetti sauce. If you missed my last couple videos to see what I made out of it, give those a look. So today it's going to be another beautiful day, about 80 degrees. And yesterday I got the weeds pulled out of my garden. And today I'll need to water because we don't have rain in the forecast for quite a while. Tomorrow is going to be hot, but then it's going to get cooler again. So it's actually been a very, very pleasant June and July here in Ohio this month. So still lots to do here in the house. I'm going to attempt to get some things done in my kitchen or living room. Maybe switch out that carpet. I'm not sure. We'll see. See how the day goes. Anyway, I'm really enjoying this process of not shopping and cooking what I have. It's nice not to have to run to the store all the time to buy food and get sticker shock every time I look at the prices, because it is just outrageous. I don't know how people with kids and a big family, how they can do it. I just don't understand. So there are some perks to being single, and that's probably one of them. You don't have to feed so many people. Now my daughter, she has 4 children, and I know she spends a lot on food, and she buys good food, not just junk food. Her kids are all healthy and happy, and so I'm glad about that. But anyway, speaking of food, I don't know exactly what I'm going to have for breakfast, so we'll go take a look at my refrigerator in a little while, and we'll see what's for breakfast. Day 202. Well, no trip to the fridge today for breakfast. I had a taste for pasta. I like pasta for breakfast. All these are tomato basil noodles, and I put butter on them. I cooked it in salted water. And there is my breakfast, day 202. Tomato basil butter noodles. All right, I'll be back later. All right, I need to do a little work in my living room. I've got my go bag here, the new carpet here, some stuff to keep Chloe off of here, and look at who's sitting in the chair that she's not allowed to be in. Chloe? So this is why I have to move this couch over here, because I don't care if she goes on the couch. But my new chair is not going to last long if she's in it. So I have some rearranging to do. This is what it looks like before. I know it's kind of a mess. I have to do some cleanup. And then I'll show you after. I don't really want to move the couch because I like the chairs here like that. But when you have dogs, you have to make a choice. All right, I'll be back and show you the after. It's time for another coffee break. It's afternoon. Cheers to you, my friends. I'm taking a little break from rearranging my living room. I didn't really want to do that, but it was necessary. And I'm actually liking the way it's turning out. So Chloe's happy and I'm happy because she won't be jumping in my chairs anymore. Well, today I wanted to just have a little chat about learning some survival skills. Now, I don't just mean, with the state of the world and all that, that's just, everybody knows pretty much what's going on there, but I'm talking about, you never know when a natural disaster will strike. Look what happened in Texas, where people actually died because they weren't prepared. So I'm talking about just any disaster that can befall us. And not to be a gloom and doomsayer, that's not what this is about. But to at least be a little bit prepared in case the power goes out or something happens to the water supply, which I think happened, was it in Flint, Michigan? I don't remember exactly where it happened. But it doesn't hurt to be a little bit prepared. So I just wanted to go over a few basic things that you might want to think about maybe acquiring so that you and your family will be safe. So I made myself some notes. So the first thing that you might want to consider is having something available to cook on, whether that's a barbecue grill, and they make portable ones, if you're in an apartment, you can store one in a closet, and then if you need to go outside and cook, you can take your grill with you. Get some extra propane, or if you go for a charcoal grill, get yourself a couple bags of charcoal. So that would even work for an apartment. They also make those little stoves that work on propane, where you can put a little device on top where you can make yourself some hot water, anything like that. So it doesn't have to be super expensive. So you would probably want to have something to heat up some water, either for sterilizing some water or coffee, anything like that. Now, if you're storing food, obviously it's easiest to cook in the cans that your canned goods come in. But it would be nice to be able to warm those up a little bit. So you can also get little propane stoves. The one that I got was under $50, and you can either use butane or propane. You can get the little canisters. Some of them use either or, so you might want to think about getting one of those. So yeah, having something to heat up your food and cook on, or if you live in a home, you can make yourself a rocket stove and then gather some wood from wherever and use that. Another thing, well, I was talking about prepping yesterday in yesterday's video. Making sure also to add some canned goods to that, whether they're store-bought when they're on sale, or if you are fortunate enough to have a garden and you can can your own food, or you can food when you buy food on sale or on markdown. So having some canned food available. If you stockpile beans, it might be a good idea to actually cook some of the beans in a mason jar and have those available, so that, because beans take a long time to cook, so having some already cooked that you can just heat up would probably be a good strategy. You want to make sure that you have some greens and that you have some carbs and that you have some protein. Now for me, I think the easiest protein that you can have would be some vital wheat gluten or some total vegetable protein, which is a soy product, and you can rehydrate it. You can make it any flavor you want. You can rehydrate it with water or with bouillon cubes, or, you know, lots of different things. So those are proteins that you can stockpile so that you can have food available in case there's a grid down situation or there's a weather disaster, anything like that. I think it's important to have a method to purify your water. Now I have a small Berkey, and I know Berkeys are very expensive. I got mine on sale a few years ago. I've never actually even used it. I keep it for emergencies. Now we have a pond within walking distance. It's the community pond. So if I needed some water, I could go down there. I could filter the water through my Berkey, and then I could also boil it on my little stove that I have in case of emergencies. So that's important, a way to purify your water. If you can't do that, then stocking up. When the Dollar Tree was still $1, I used to buy those gallon jugs of water. So I have numerous ones of those also. Don't forget, you need to have water for your pets too. So that's an important thing to have just in case. And if you never need any of this, thank God, you know. But if you do and you don't have it, that's not a good thing. You also want to have a heat source. And some of the things that I have a heater that runs on propane. So I actually have a couple of heaters. And what I would do is I would close off a room to warm it up, because I have high ceilings in this house and it would be difficult to heat if I just left everything open. So some other things that you might want to have on hand for heat are old blankets. I have a lot of old blankets. I usually don't get rid of them. You know, my old bedding, some old sheets, you can have quilts, anything like that. Sleeping bags, that would be a good thing to have. Clothes that you can layer. Maybe have an undershirt that is close to your body, because I find that that keeps me warmer than if I have a lot of loose clothing on. And then layer some clothes on top of that, and also keep some warm coats handy. They don't have to be fashion statements, but they do need to be warm. So keep those handy, and also socks and boots, nice warm boots. Those are all things that are good to have in case. In Ohio here, we can get pretty cold in the winter. So it's not a problem if you're out in, California or Florida, but in the northern states, it's very important to have a heat source. Lighting, whether that's lanterns, you can also do the kerosene lamps, you can do those. My mother had a power outage not that long ago, and she actually ended up bringing her outdoor solar lights in, and she said they lasted till morning. So you could use that, buy some extra solar lights and charge them up outside, and then bring them in when, if there's a power outage. So I thought that was a pretty clever thing to do. Another thing you might want to think about is having a small tent for in your house that maybe sleeps 1 or 2 people. You can get in there with your dogs and cats and people, because that will keep your own body warmth in a smaller area. And you can get little pop-up tents pretty cheap, but that's a good thing to have on hand too if you live in a cooler climate and it's during the winter. I've had it happen where the power's gone out here for a good 24 hours in the winter, and I have a couple faux fireplaces with the canned heat. I mean, it wasn't hot in here. I still had to wear a coat, but I was comfortable. So just keeping some things, a variety of things handy for if there's a power outage in the winter. You want to make sure, if we have an extended period of having a power outage, you want to make sure that you have soap, toothpaste. A good toothpaste to make, if you don't have any on hand, is baking soda with coconut oil. And then you can add some xylitol to it too, and that's a good toothpaste for actually your health of your teeth. So having those ingredients available, having baking soda around anyway to keep your house relatively clean, having gallons of vinegar around, you want something acidic, so that's a good thing to have around. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, don't forget about your pets. Buy an extra bag of dog food or two, and I know that's getting very expensive too, but if the grid's down and you can't get out, let's say there's too much snow outside, you don't want to forget about your buddies. So, and if the power is out and you have to, and you have food in your freezer, you can always put it out in the snow, try and keep it in a container so the raccoons and things don't get in it, but that's an option if you want to keep your food frozen in the wintertime. It's a good idea to keep some basic medications on hand, your Tylenol or naproxen, whatever your drug of choice is. I keep a stash of Airborne. I get the generic kind, and I use that all the time. First sign of a little sniffle, you have to take it right in the very beginning when you feel like get that little tickle in your nose, and then I take Airborne right away. And that has worked wonders for me. So, any things for GI distress, if you don't have the cleanest water available, you might want to keep something like that available. If you happen to have antibiotics, that's great. There are books out there or YouTube videos that teach you how to make natural antibiotics. Honey is a natural antibiotic. There's a lot of herbs that have biotic properties. So you might want to consider keeping some of those things stocked up. And then last but not least, and I'm sure I'm probably forgetting something, if I am, please leave some comments below. Let us know some of the things that you keep for emergency prep, but some sort of form of protection, whether that's a knife or a pistol or whatever you're comfortable with, and learn how to use it just for self-defense. Because if you're in a situation where the grid is down for an extended period of time, sometimes people can get pretty aggressive, and especially people that don't think ahead and don't prepare, they might want to come and take what you have. So a form of protection, I think, is very important. So anyway, those are some of the things that I came up with in a grid down situation to keep you and your family safe and relatively comfortable and fed. So like I said, if you have other ideas, please leave us a comment down below and give us some more ideas, because I may have forgotten something, or I like learning from you guys. You guys have a lot of good ideas. So all right, it's going to be dinner time in a little bit. I know I had a really odd breakfast this morning, but I actually like pasta, so it was very satisfying. So that's it for now. I'll be back in a little while and we'll see what's for dinner. Day 202. Okay, I finished rearranging my living room, and I have a lot of chairs in here. And my old sofa with the dogs on there. But anyway, I got the new carpet down, and the chairs, and so this works for me and it works for Chloe and Lizzie. So I still have to do something with all these cords. I have to get like a extension cord back there. But for the most part, I got the heavy stuff done. And the recliner chairs, so there's lots of places for people to sit here, which I'm glad of. And lots of places for my dogs to sit. So yeah, this is what it looks like. And I know it's a lot of furniture in there, but eventually this sofa will go. And then I think I'm just going to keep chairs in here. But for now, it works. So there it is. My living room redo. And this thing is starting to fall apart too. So eventually that'll go. So these two pieces will go. And these chairs aren't in the best of shape either. But, so there it is. My living room redo. Now I hope this works and I don't have to do it again for quite a while. Let's see what's for dinner. Day 202. Okay, I still have a little bit of this pasta sauce left. I was going to make some pizza, but I changed my mind. I'm going to have something else. I'm going to get some butter. And some more cheese. And I think I'm going to call that good. So I'm cooking some pasta over here. Same pasta I had this morning, and it's this Mrs. Miller's homemade noodles. We got that in Amish country. And I want to finish that up. And then I have my chard cut up, just letting that soak a little bit in water. So I'm going to be cooking that too. So that's what's going to be for dinner. Hey, we got a different angle going here. I'm cooking some the pasta here. I'm heating up some butter in the pan. So here I have some onion that I chopped up yesterday, and I'm going to cook that in there. I still haven't hung up my knife rack. I'm slacking. But I did get my living room done today, so yay me. We'll see how long that lasts. So anyway, just waiting for the butter to melt. And then I'm going to saute my onion. So I have my freshly washed chard here from the garden. And if you've never had chard, the taste is very similar to spinach. My mom used to cook Swiss chard a lot when I was a kid, and I really liked it. So I'm really happy that I'm able to grow it in my garden. And you also get those big huge leaves, so I actually almost prefer it over spinach. So you can cream it, you can cook it, you can saute it, you can put it in dishes. Very similar to where you would use spinach. So I'm just going to let these onions soften up a little bit. And did you know that if you add carrots to your pasta sauce, it'll sweeten it up? This doesn't have carrots in it, but it does make it sweeter. So I also got a couple of garlic scapes from my garden. I have those chopped up, and I'm going to add those when the onion is done sauteing. And I'm going to add my spinach a little bit after, because I just want it wilted. I don't want it too soft, too mushy. So I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, I'm going to add my garlic scapes now. And garlic scapes are edible. Those are the little flowers that you get on the top. You can save those too, let them grow, and then plant more garlic with it. I mean, that's the seed head of the garlic. So I'm going to turn this down a little bit. I don't want to burn my garlic. Oh, I wish you could smell this with the onion and the garlic. It smells really good. I pulled an onion out of the garden too, inadvertently. So I'm not going to cook all of this, but it will wilt down. Let's see if the doggy's here. Lizzie, here. Let's see if they like the chard. They like lettuce way better than they like spinach. That's one thing about spinach. You have a whole huge bag of it, and by the time you're done, there's hardly any left. So I'm going to add a little bit more. I guess they like it. They ate it. All right, here you go. Yep, they like it. All right, I'm going to cook this up. Add some salt and pepper to it. And that, of course, is to taste. Oh, I wish I could get closer to the stove, but I have a doggie laying here as usual. Oh boy, up close and personal. Okay. And I think that's a good amount to go with the amount of pasta that I have. Alright, I'm going to see if my pasta is done. And hopefully I can start using greens from the garden. My tomatoes aren't anywhere near done yet, but the greens are getting there. Okay, pasta's good. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm going to add my spinach, onions, and garlic to my pasta. And I'm also going to add my sauce, and then I'm going to warm it up on the stove. Okay, there we go with that. Now the pasta would be good just with garlic butter and you don't even need the spaghetti sauce, but I want to use that up. So, and then I'm going to add a good part of Parmesan Romano cheese. And that is it for the spaghetti sauce. But what I also want to do here is I want to fry an egg to go on top. So I think this will be a very tasty dinner. It looks like it will be. All right, I'll be back when I plate this up, and then we'll give it a taste. All right, there it is, dinner day 202. So let's give this a taste. Very simple ingredients, and I'm excited. This is the first thing, the scapes and the chard, that I'm eating from my garden. All right, let's try it. So if you don't have chard, you can go ahead and just add spinach. And you can also add an egg, not add an egg, just add butter Don't have to put the tomato sauce in, but I wanted to use it up. So I think this is a very tasty meal, quick. And I sure ate lots of pasta today, but it's one of my favorite things to eat. All right, my friends. That's all I have for you today. I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you. Prepare for emergencies. You'll be happy you did. And I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. Thanks for watching.